Hi Garden Gems, what if I told you that these beauties you see right here hold the secret to a beautiful spring colorful garden? But there's a catch. You have to act fast because winter is approaching. So in this video, I will be showing you 3 simple tips on how to plant your fall bulbs in the ground and in pots. So let's get to it. We are going to start off with tulip bulbs. Why? Because they're one of the trickier bulbs to plant because they rot really easily in the ground, and I don't want that to happen to you. So the first thing you have to do when thinking about planting tulip bulbs is getting the right soil. You don't want to plant tulip bulbs in clay soil. Why? Because it holds on to moisture. What you want to do is plant tulip bulbs in airy garden soil. That way, if you water, it won't hold on to the moisture and it won't rot your bulbs. The simple rule for me that I have found worked for me, look at the bulb and plant it about 3 times deeper than the sides. Before we add the soil, we are going to put some leaves you see right at the bottom. This will prevent the soil from going through the holes in the pot. We're going to add our garden soil. I just poured in. This is the easiest way for me to do it. I like to put in peat moss. It's an organic material to make the soil a little less dense and more air flowing. One last secret that I add is perlite right here, and this helps with drainage, which is really important when it comes to planting these tulip bulbs because that will help prevent your tulip bulbs from rotting inside your pot. And perlite is good for any potted plants, even indoor plants. And you want to see that beautiful mixture of white and brown. Once you see it's evenly coated, that is the time to start planting. You want to keep your bulbs like this, and that is the golden rule for most bulbs. You don't want to plant your bulbs like this, but you want to plant them most of the time like this. Now, Garden Gems, you can use this spade and move the dirt. Sometimes it's just easier to fill the pot halfway. That way you're not dealing and struggling with all this dirt. So that's what I did. I took out some of the soil, and now I'm going to just pop in the tulip bulbs, and it's so much easier. This way you know that it is 6 inches deep, and you can see I'm doing a pattern, a circle pattern. You don't want to keep it straight like this because it doesn't look as nice. You want to fill this pot with bulbs. They will be okay close together. Actually, they look a lot nicer when they are closer together. And now we just easy peasy cover it up with the soil. There we go, perfect. Now you water, give it a nice thorough watering like that. Now Garden Gems, after you finish that, you want to make sure that you put your bulbs in an area that is sheltered. You do not want to leave it outside. Not only will the squirrels get to your bulbs because squirrels love tulip bulbs, but the pot will freeze over with the bulbs inside. So you want to put it in your garage or an area that is unheated to protect it from the winter frost. Now, if you live in an area like California, Arizona, or one of those warmer states, you really don't have to do that because it doesn't get down to freezing temperatures. But if you're in a cold temperature like myself in zone 70, you need to put those bulbs that you just planted inside your garage or sheltered area. Now, if you're a beginner gardener, daffodils is one of the easiest bulbs to plant. Not only that, they're one of the first flowers to come up in the spring. I have right here my daffodils that I will be planting, and you can see this is a beautiful variety. It is called Cheerfulness, and this is the standard one we have right here, the trumpet one that you are very familiar with. Now, what I love about daffodil bulbs is that they come back year after year. Unlike tulips that are fussy, daffodils always come back. I have some old ones right here. And what I also love about daffodils is that you can plant them in really crummy soil. You see right here, it is clay soil. And this has come back, the daffodils have come back for me year after year. So if you have crummy soil, daffodils are the best bulbs to plant and the easiest bulbs to manage. I'm planting my bulbs right underneath my hydrangea. That way, when the spring comes, all these bulbs will be bursting, and then during the summertime, my hydrangea will then be blooming. Any ones that are not standing up, you want to keep them and nuzzle them into the ground like that. So you want to continue to pack them in. If you are concerned about spacing, you can leave about 1 inch or 2 apart. These are yellow daffodils, one of the first flowers to come up during the spring. So you can see there is a pattern I have here. There is about 25 daffodils in this hole. Another pro tip, if the daffodil is facing this way and you want the flower to face that way, you have to turn it over right here and make sure that it's faced in the right direction. If it's like this, where it's just a tip, you just leave it like that. But if it's curving like this, then turn it around so it can face outward. And sometimes you have to be concerned about some of these packages because look at this one. This one doesn't look that great. You can see it has mold. So I'm going to change that daffodil bulb for a new one like that one. Make sure they're nicely firm into the ground, nicely tucked into the ground, and just touch your daffodils. It should feel nice and firm. If it's soft like this one, because I just found this is soft and mushy, that is not one that you want to plant. Now, if you're concerned about your soil, you could add new amendments like this, perlite and peat moss to the soil just to make sure, give it some organic material. You can see that's a root of my hydrangea plant, but again, daffodils are very resilient, so it's not going to interfere with them growing. We're going to add a little bit more topsoil to make sure everything, the bulbs and the hydrangea roots are covered thoroughly. So let's talk about watering. I typically water twice a week during the fall for my potted bulbs, and I cut down during the winter months, and I increase the watering when spring comes. Speaking of spring, you're going to want to check out this video on how to prune your hydrangeas, because there is a way how to prune hydrangeas so you don't cut off those blooms for the summer. You're going to want to watch that video. Keep on watching.